Today on CityCast Philly, we're back with another midweek news roundup. We're talking about the latest on the arrest and dismantling of the encampment at the University of Pennsylvania. And there's a 24-hour cheese vending machine, plus our weekly news quiz. It's Tuesday, May 14th. I'm Trenae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Joining me this week is Abby Fritz, CityCast Philly producer. Hey, Abby.
Good morning, Trenae.
Good morning. And Asha Prihar, Hey Philly newsletter editor. Thanks for being here, Asha.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get into some of the news that's been happening over the weekend since Friday. We've been following the story about the Gaza Solidarity encampment that had been set up on the University of Penn's campus for 16 days. That's according to the Daily Pennsylvanian, which is an independent student news outlet. And just to recap, some of the things that this group of protesters wanted from the university was for the university to divest from businesses and corporations that benefit from the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, and just generally for Penn to defend Palestinian students. So what happened early Friday morning at around 6 a.m. was that Penn police and Philadelphia police arrested 33 people. Again, that's according to the Daily Pennsylvanian, and at least 9 students were among those who were arrested. It also was reported that while police were moving barricades and moving people out of their tents, some demonstrators linked arms and sang, "We shall not be moved," but they were then shortly arrested. It was also reported that it didn't appear that anyone had resisted arrest. And I also want to note that in the reporting that I read from the Daily Pennsylvanian, all 33 people who were arrested were given code violation notices, then released. So they weren't criminally charged. And that came from the Philadelphia District Attorney, Larry Krasner.
Interesting. So how did the university respond?
Abby, that's a good question. So before the encampment was taken down and those arrests were made, interim president Larry Jamison sent out several statements describing the encampment as making the university, quote, less safe. Again, that is according to the Daily Pennsylvanian. And on Friday, in a message to the Penn community, Jamison said he defended the sweep of the encampment and that it was necessary to basically bring things back to normalcy on campus. And also in the backdrop of all of this, remember Penn's graduation ceremony is scheduled for Monday, May 20th. And according, again, to the Daily Pennsylvanian, the university is planning to add several security measures for this year's commencement as well.
Interesting.
Last week on Tuesday's news roundup, we actually chatted with the editor-in-chief of the Daily Pennsylvanian. And so if you want to listen back to that episode, check out the link in our show notes. More Philly news of the week after the break. All right, if you haven't heard already, there is a 24-hour vending machine filled with cheeses and other items you need to make our charcuterie board.
Yum.
Abby, you recently went to check this out. How was your experience?
I was so excited to go check out this vending machine. As a cheese lover, I lost it a little. So this machine opened last month, and last week I was able to take a peek at the machine, which is on Hancock Street in Olde Kensington. It's at Perrystead Dairy. And like you mentioned, Trenae, there's a bunch of cheeses in it, cured meat, jam, and even like a cutting board. So you can really create your own charcuterie board on the spot with this vending machine, which is really cool. It is cashless, so you need a card or Apple Pay or something like that to pay for this. And it's really cute as well. It's just adorable. It's red and everything kind of moves in a fun way. But when I went, it was broken. So
Oh no.
I was super sad. I was so pumped to, press all the buttons and get some yummy award-winning cheese. But I am going to go back. I spoke briefly with the owner, Yoav Perry, and he said they're hoping to get it fixed this week. So I am going to try it. It's very cool. It's a Philly novelty that I need to check off my list. And I'm going to be writing a little review of the cheeses and kind of the ease of the machine once the vending machine is back up and running. So definitely keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, he did give me a little tour of the herb garden, which is really cute. It's like all surrounding the creamery itself, and in front of the vending machine, there's like very fragrant rosemary and all these other types of herbs around. And I think, the vision is I'm sitting there with my charcuterie board of cheese that I got from the vending machine in the herb garden. And it's a perfect day. So I will get to do it eventually, I'm sure.
Love that. So this is like such an interesting idea. Do you know why the owner decided to give this vending machine a try?
Yeah, so I read up about this a little bit. I didn't ask Perry this specifically, but in an interview for Technically, he mentioned that there's some regulations that restrict him from having like an actual cheese shop in the creamery. And so this was kind of like a way around these rules because it's not technically like inside the premises and it's outside. So it sounds like a cool way to be able to get cheese to the community when some of these regulations might restrict it. I also learned while I was reading up about this in a Philly Mag article that automats were created in Philly, and they're essentially like a cross between a vending machine and a fast food restaurant. So there is some historical context for cool food vending experiences in our city, which Perry referenced as inspiring him to, create this cheese vending machine, along with cool vending machines around the world that are doing wild things like, live crab or French fries. So yeah, very excited to give it a try.
Okay, so what other cool vending machines have you all seen around Philly?
So the one that immediately came to mind when I first heard about the cheese machine was this live bait vending machine I see in Bartram's Garden, which basically is like for fishing and stuff. You can like get all the things you need for fishing. I think they're more common than I originally perceived, but I had never seen them before, and I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. I can go get a can of worms or whatever.
I feel like there's like some type of like gamification, element to like vending machines. So the one I thought of was the yarn vending machine down at Cherry Street Pier. A local entrepreneur wanted to kind of sell her yarn. So she put it in a vending machine. And this was like during the pandemic. So, a lot safer probably than having those person-to-person interactions like at a storefront.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting too, because I feel like you might see a vending machine and you might not realize that you like wanted that thing at that particular moment, but then you're like, I can get that. And then like obviously like seeing a store kind of can have the same effect, but maybe like not in the same way. I don't know. Like my thought is like, I know at PHL Airport there's a Lego vending machine. That's such an interesting idea to me because it's like I wouldn't think to buy Legos at the airport. Maybe there are people who would think to do that, but I feel like if there's a Lego store, it's like a different effect than if there's like a Lego machine and you're like, oh, I can like get like a little set for like, I don't know, like $10-20 and like put stuff together while I'm like waiting for my flight or whatever. I think that's the vending machine thing. I feel like there's like a certain glitz to it that
a shimmer
maybe doesn't always exist with a storefront.
If you guys had a vending machine, what would be in it?
Love the hypothetical. I feel like for me, I would probably lean more toward the practical side. I would love if like my block had like a like middle of the night vending machine. Like I think a cool thing about this cheese vending machine is that it's 24/7. I mean, when it's up and running. And I was just thinking of like, what are some things like that you might run out of in the middle of the night, or you might find yourself needing in the middle of the night when like, you know, your like corner store or like pharmacy is closed. I'm thinking like, what if you like run out of toilet paper? Like, wouldn't it be nice to have a vending machine where you could just go to the corner and be like, I need a roll of toilet paper? Or like, what if you could get things that help you sleep? Like, I don't know, sometimes you have a headache and you're out of Tylenol. That would be nice. Like sleeping masks, earplugs.
I can actually see this whole vending machine coming to life.
Like maybe like herbal tea bags, like chamomile. Like I would do a sleep vending machine, like a help you out in the middle of the night. This is your 2 a.m. vending machine.
Mm-hmm. Nice. No one steal that idea. I should gotta trademark that soon.
And if you do it, put it on my block.
Yeah. Exactly.
For me, I think it's like more healthy snacks in a vending machine, and like definitely like snacks between the hours of like, you know, that 2 p.m. to like 5 p.m. like weird hunger time. Like you don't want to be eating something too heavy that will spoil dinner, but like you need something. But it would be great if it was healthy snacks so you can watch your waistline. And I would love these healthy vending machines at like gas stations. That would be amazing. And if it would be like hot food, I don't know how that's possible, but like hot food or like healthy foods, healthy snacks, that would be like the best vending machine for me.
Totally.
Yeah.
Abby, what about for you?
We definitely need a CityCast vending machine.
Ooh, okay. What are we putting in there?
We can put merch. We can put random factoids about Philly. We can put Asha's trivia questions in there. We could gamify it. I think it would be a hit. I think it would be the best vending machine in the city if we did that.
We could also do like little like old school MP3 players with like our episodes loaded onto them, like little earbuds. I think that would be cute.
Totally.
And we also have these like cool Hey Philly mugs that, I mean, I love a mug. So I would be excited if that was in A3. Like get a mug.
Yeah,
I would just be worried about it like breaking while the vending machine is like vending it, you know?
For
like
sure.
they seem pretty fragile.
Well, I will say with the cheese vending machine, they don't like drop the cheese down. It's like you pay first and then you select which one you want, and then it like opens like a little slot on the individual one, so you go in and grab it, as opposed to it like falling down to the bottom and like crushing and disfiguring the cheese. So maybe we could get a similar one for CityCast.
Yeah, we'll need that one.
I've never seen one like that before.
I haven't either. Yeah,
those were some great ideas. Okay, so finally Asha is going to guide us through this week's news quiz.
I'm nervous.
Me too. I always get nervous.
Don't be nervous. Oh my gosh. Okay. So 3 questions. I am not even gonna claim that they're arranged easy to hard because I don't know. I never know what you guys are gonna know and what you're not going to know. So we're just gonna jump in. Okay. So for our first question, this is a little bit of food news. Which sandwich shop in Philly is currently waging a legal battle against a restaurant that's trying to open with the same name in Las Vegas?
I don't know this one.
Is it like Jim's Steaks?
No, it's not.
Is it a cheesesteak place?
It is in fact not a cheesesteak place.
Oh, wow. Okay.
In a great plot twist.
Is this like a locally based company, or it's like a national like chain?
This is local. They have currently 2 locations, and I can tell you where those locations are if that would be a good hint.
Is it like the twin, like the clubhouse one? You know what I'm talking about?
The club, yeah. You're getting there.
I'm getting closer.
You're warm.
I'm warm. Darn it! I don't remember the name of that place.
All right, so the name of the sandwich shop is Middle Child.
Yes,
which I think is what you were thinking of.
Headline.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, so they have a location in Washington Square West, and then they also have a bigger location in Fishtown, which is called the Middle Child Clubhouse.
That's what I was thinking of, yeah.
So the owner of this Philly restaurant, Middle Child, has actually filed a trademark lawsuit against a restaurant group that is opening a place in Vegas that they also want to call Middle Child. So the Vegas spot actually did apply for its trademark before the Philly spot did, but the Philly restaurant has been open for several years, and so the restaurant owner is basically arguing in this lawsuit that they've been using this name for long enough and consistently enough that they have common law rights to this trademark. So I guess we'll see how this plays out. By the way, all of this information is coming from an article in Eater Las Vegas. So shout out to Eater. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how this, works out.
Everybody keeps trying to steal from Philly. Shame on them.
Okay. So are you guys ready for question number 2?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. We're going sporty with this one. This is the sports question. The Philadelphia Union, which is our area's Major League Soccer team, they just signed a professional contract last week with a Norristown resident named Kevin Sullivan, and he will become the 5th youngest signed player in MLS history. So my question for you guys is, how old is he?
This is going to be a straight guess. I have no context. I'm going to say 19.
I was going to say 19 too. I'm going to say, I feel like 19 might be like already have been taken. So I'm going to say 20.
I feel like you guys are going to be shocked by the actual answer.
It's going to be like 12.
So not 12, but 14.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Kevin Sullivan.
Legal? Right. Should he be in school? Because you could go to the Olympics. Like you can actually like be a teenager and go to the Olympics. But to be a signed professional player?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Wow. So apparently Sullivan has been part of the Philadelphia Union's Academy, which is like this program that they have to help train and develop young players. And he's been part of that since 2020. And so then they decided to sign him professionally because I guess it's pretty good. And according to Billy Penn, this is the largest homegrown player deal that the MLS has ever seen. Homegrown players, like when people go from like being in the team's academy to like being on the team. And he's also reportedly going to be joining the English soccer team Manchester City when he turns 18. So seems like he's got a future out of him.
Yeah.
Congrats. Yeah, doing a lot more than I was at 14.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think back to it and I'm like, I did not know what I was doing when I was 14. So good for Mr. Sullivan.
I am, though, concerned as a mother of an athlete. I'm just thinking if my 14-year-old son is playing, like, great, amazing, right? But he's going to be playing, like, against men, like grown-ass men. And it's just like, what kind of conversations do you have with your teammates? Like,
locker room chat.
Bro, like I am, I don't know, doing adult stuff. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out like how I'm getting pimples. Like it's the conversation, like
geometry is really hard.
Yeah, like the conversations are going to be like so different.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering about like that maturity level, if he is going to mesh with the other teammates.
Yeah,
definitely an interesting question. Yeah. Okay. So you guys ready for the last question?
Totally.
Cool. So this one's going to be multiple choice.
Okay.
So I saw last week that Philly was recently ranked the 5th worst city for driving in the country by Forbes.
Honestly, that's
not
better
surprised.
than I thought.
So my question for you is, which cities were ranked 4th and 6th? So Philly was 5th. What was right above us and right below us in this analysis? And I'm going to give you options.
Okay.
All right. So first option, Oakland and Miami. Second option, Houston and New York City. Third option, Los Angeles and San Francisco. And fourth option, Boston and Chicago.
I'm going to go Boston, Chicago.
I have driven in San Francisco and Oakland and New York and Philly. And I'm sorry, Philly is worse than all of those places. So I just feel like, wait, what was the New York one? Sorry.
It was Houston as 4th and New York City as 6th.
Okay. I'm going to go with that one.
Okay, so Abby got it. It is Houston and New York City. We're right in between those two.
Oh my gosh.
So this Forbes analysis, it took into account quote unquote driving experience, which is just like stuff like traffic congestion, like what's the experience of driving? Like, is it stressful, basically? As well as things like safety, the cost of car ownership, and access to car maintenance. So Philly did badly, surprise, surprise, in driving experience. So like the traffic congestion, stuff like that, and also in the cost of car ownership. Meanwhile, in Houston, their issues were more so in traffic safety and access to car maintenance.
Okay.
And New York got dinged a lot for car ownership costing a lot, which does not surprise me at all. And also for that driving experience category. So some of like the similar stuff that Philly got put in this ranking for, but we were slightly worse than New York, apparently.
Okay. You know, I see it. I do. Yeah, sorry. I do. Love you, Philly, but sorry.
It just gets so like aggressive on the road.
Yeah.
It's just like a lot of cursing, a lot of like it's like almost you can't even make like a normal like mistake. Like if you just like are looking away and you didn't immediately like hit your foot on the accelerator and like go as soon as the light turned green, you're going to get honked at. You're going to be called, you know, words that, you know, we can't say. And it's just like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I blinked and looked outside my window and I did not move fast enough for you.
Yep. I got a ticket the other day because I don't know, I was turning left on Gray's Ferry. And like it was like the light had been red for so long and it turned green and everybody was like rushing, and like as I was coming up it was yellow, and so I was gonna stop and then the person behind me was beeping to keep going, and so I went through it even though it like technically went red, and then I got a ticket in the mail.
You got that red light camera ticket?
I know. I was like,
$100?
dang, Yep. Yep.
Yikes.
I was like, I should have listened to my gut. I shouldn't have let them bully me.
That sounds so stressful.
It's okay.
I'm a passenger princess myself. So I have driven in Philly, I think, once. And you know, I'm not trying to repeat it a ton. So SEPTA for me.
That was Asha Prihar, Hey Philly newsletter editor, and Abby Fritz, CityCast Philly producer. Thank you both so much for joining me on this week's Tuesday News Roundup.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Trenae.
That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this episode, tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.